just a pillow or underneath your knees. So just grab a small little pillow, and that'll really be the only thing that we'll need to use today. I got a new kitten. So I know this one always walks in front of the camera, but I got a new little kitten too, so he might be running in and out of here as well. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is, like we start before, was just some breathing. So you're gonna have your hands together, fingers interclasped, but you're gonna put it behind your back like this. You're just gonna sit on your knees. There he is. Here, come here. Come here. Look. Say hi.
So cute.
His name is Burrito Bandito. He's a little bandit.
Nice.
All right, so you're gonna sit on your knees and have your hands clasped behind your finger, or your hands clasped behind your back, and then like grip your hands tight and pull your shoulders back and reach your arms straight. All right, so you feel that chest stretch, and we're just gonna take 5 deep breaths here. Make them really loud too. So breathe in. And out. There's 2. There's 3. Keep those shoulders back. 4. And 5. All right, awesome. So we're gonna start out into a high lunge like this. All right, so have your left leg forward, your right knee is down. Now you have a lot of different positions that your hips can get in, so it's important that we align the hips properly with the rest of the body. So I want you to take your hands and place them on your hip bones, and just see if you're like turned out or like dumped forward or whatever. You want to make sure your body is rotated towards the front and that your hands are even this way. So sometimes you might have this hip hiked up and you'll feel your hand way higher than the other hand. So you want to pull those hips down, twist them until you feel like they're level and they're straight with each other. Then what you're going to do from here is a strong pelvic tilt. So you're tilting your hips backwards. You feel the glute turn on. As soon as you do that, you should feel a quad stretch by rotating your pelvis backwards. And then you're just going to slowly lean into that quad stretch as much as you can. And then you're going to back out of it. So we're going to do 3 seconds in. So 1, 2, 3 into the stretch. And then 1, 2, 3 out of the stretch. You see what I'm doing? So from the side, I'm going slowly rocking forward as far as I can, not letting my hips arch. You don't want your back to arch, so you want to make sure this is nice and tucked. Hey, buddy. And then you're leaning forward, coming back. There's 5. And 6. There's 7. Should feel a real good quad stretch on that down leg. There's 8.
All right, need you guys all upstairs. Bye.
9. One more. And 10. Okay, so let's switch legs. So again, you got your hands on your hips. Okay, you're making sure that they're both pointed forwards. Make sure that one is not higher than the other. So if you put your hands on your hips and you feel the leg that's forward is hiked up like this, all you have to do is kind of think about like scooping your hips to the one side and lowering this side. So elongating this side and shortening this side, or the other way around, whichever way you need to get those hips level. But once you're level, get the tuck, pelvic tuck. As soon as you do that, you should feel the stretch here on this down leg. I'm gonna rock forward as far as you can. 1, 2, 3, and then come back out of it. 1, 2, 3. So nice and slow. And just pay attention to what your hips are doing. So see if at any point in the lunge, if you know your body wants to lose that stability or that position. 3, 1, 2, 3, back out of it. So it's not a very big range of motion, but you should feel a crazy amount of stretch here. And again, the farther you lean forward, the farther you're resisting arching the back and sticking the butt out. You want to make sure you keep that strong pelvic tilt as we move forward. Come back. So here's number 6. And back. So exhale forward. Inhale backwards. 2 more. And come back to neutral. All right. So the next move we're going to do is kind of similar to like what an archer push-up is. So archer push-ups, you have your hands nice and wide. All right. And so we're going to be like on all fours, basically like you're in a tabletop position, but you're just spreading your hands. I do like about double my hip width. Okay. So you don't want to be too far out that you lose balance. All right. So you got the knees spread, arms spread. And then we're going to start by going to our left. As you go to your left, you don't want this front shoulder to round forward like this. You want to keep it pulled back. So with the hand that's on the ground, like firmly planted on the ground, and use that as leverage to twist the shoulders backwards. So as I'm leaning towards my left, I'm rotating my shoulder outside, so externally or towards the back. And what that's going to do is allow that pec to open, because if you don't have that external rotation of the shoulder, what's going to happen is the shoulder will come forward like this, and it'll actually just make that pec even tighter. So as you're coming to one side, really externally rotate, or what you can picture is the middle part of your elbow, twist it to face the front of the room. Right here. And you're going to go down as far as you can. And then come back up to the middle. And then we're going to twist to the other side. And come back to the middle. So you got your knees on the ground the whole time. So we're moving towards our left. Back to the middle. And the goal of this obviously would be to get this shoulder onto the floor, or as close to the floor as you can. Come back in. There's 4. To the left. So we'll go down in about 3 seconds. Hold for a second. And come back up a couple seconds. Move towards the right. Back to the middle. Feel those shoulders rotating. The whole time you're moving down, you should feel your shoulders rotating. And actually your obliques starting to come on as well. Back up to the middle. 7. Towards the right. Down in 3, 2, 1. Hold for a second. And we're going to come back up. 2, 1. So we got one more on each side. Going down towards the left. Turn your head towards the left. Really twist that elbow towards the front of the room. Come back up. And then one more time to the right. Twist that elbow forwards. Keep that rotation in the shoulder as you go down. And come back to the middle. All right, good. So the next one we're going to be lying on our back. And it's an ab move called wipers, but we're not going to do the move. We're just kind of doing the hold. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. You're going to be laying on your back. Knees are going to be up in a tabletop position. And then we're just going to let them, well, I'll go this way. We're going to let them rotate to one side. And we're going to hold this position here. Now, when you rock them to the side, you'll notice that, I'll show you at this angle. As I go towards this side, the knees want to come uneven so that when you're on one side, you'll notice the top knee is trailing behind the bottom knee. What I want you to focus on when you're in this stretch is extending that top hip so the knees are level with each other. And you'll feel that a lot more in the lower back. All right. So let's lay on our back, palms facing the floor, head on the ground. We're going to move our legs towards the left. See if you can keep those knees together. And really reach out with your right arm, trying to put the back of that right shoulder onto the ground. And then on the exhale, you're going to pull back up to the middle. All right, so we're just going to go side to side here. So we're going to the right side, nice and slow to the bottom. Once you hit that end range, I want you to take one big breath. And then we're pulling back up to the middle. So there's 2. So we're moving to our left. Don't let that right knee drag behind. Reach that right hip forwards. So those knees are matching, the feet are matching. Pull that back up to the middle. And going to the right. One big breath. And pulling back to the middle. To the left. So just move nice and slow. Follow your breath. Pull that back up. So your lower back should be starting to loosen up if you're doing this one right. Really reach that left hip forward. So that was number 6. Pull back to the middle. And we got 2 more on each side. So we're going left. Reach that right hip forwards. And as your feet are to the left, that right arm wants to come off the ground. Just keep reaching that away from your body and towards the ground. Pull that back up. Think of yourself as like a dish rag that you're trying to like twist and pull apart to get all the water droplets out. You're doing the same thing with your body here. So you're reaching with your feet, reaching with your arms, and like twisting. Pull back up. Last one to each side towards the left. One big breath. Pull back up. And last one to the right. See if you can keep that left arm on the ground. Reach the hips towards the right. And pull up. All right, very good. All right, so next move we're going to be back in the lunge position here. And this is kind of a two-part move. We're doing basically it's a windmill from a lunge position. So the first part of this move is a twist. So we're going to twist towards the knee that we're on. And then we're going to try to come down. I'll come sideways like this. We're going to try to come down the leg and come up into a windmill. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start into a high lunge. All right, so go ahead and get in your position. So we want to make sure that we have a posterior tilt. Hip bones are squared away, so we're all stable, we're all balanced. First thing you're going to do is turn towards your front leg. So I got my left leg in the front. So you're spinning towards the front leg. Don't let the hips turn yet. Okay. So you're kind of almost squeezing. Think about squeezing your hips together as you turn. And that'll create stability deep in the pelvic floor. And then as you're done with that turn, you're going to come down and press into your knee with your elbow and out into your elbow with your knee. So you're creating opposite tension into each other. And then use that as stability. And then we're going to try to twist up towards the side. And again, one big breath here. Calm down nice and slow. See if you can get out of that position without falling. Okay, it's really going to test the hip balance there. Has everybody got that move? Okay. If you need help on the twist, it's hard to get your elbow here. You can always grab this right here, or like grab underneath here and help, and like kind of push off of your leg as well to get that extra twist. So that's a little regression for whoever needs that. So we're going to do 5, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay. So first we're exhaling, rotating left. Finish your exhale as you dive down. And then nice and slow, you can rotate up towards the ceiling. Come back down. And return to starting position. Whew, there's one. It's going to release a lot of stress in your body after these. So you should feel like at the very end of this move that your whole body is in like this giant, like tight ball of twist. And then as you come back to the middle, you should feel everything kind of like melting away, okay? So as we're twisting left, you're squeezing your hips together. Or if you guys have your right leg up, that's fine, whatever leg. And then, so your hips are squeezed, and now you're coming down and you're squeezing your core. And now we're twisting up and you're squeezing your back. So you're really squeezing like most of the muscles in your body in this move. And then come back down. And find your way back to the middle. So definitely go at your own pace. If you need to go a little faster or a little slower, that's fine. It's a very complicated twisty, bendy move. So go at your own speed with it. This is our number 3. Come back down. Turn back to the middle. So here's our number 4. Twist. Come down. If you can, grab the floor. Come back to the middle. Nice and slow. And then last time here. So twist. Then you dive. And come back to the middle. All right, so we're going to switch sides. Just to warn you, it's probably going to feel really, really awkward going to the other side after that much twisting to the first side. So let's get your hips all situated, squared away. So you make sure they're both facing forwards. Make sure that you don't have one hiked over the other. Ow, back off. Here, hold on a sec. Okay. So we got right leg forward. So we're twisting towards the right. Left elbow goes on the outside of that right knee. See, I can't even touch the ground on this one, so I'm worse turning this way. Come back down to the middle. And back to starting position. So it's totally okay if you feel way worse one side over the other. Just means that's your tight side. You need to stretch that side a little more. The turning right has always been very challenging for me for some reason. And back to the middle. There's 2. Spin towards the right. Come back to the middle, nice and slow. There's our 3. Turn. Then you fold, hook in that left elbow, press into your knee, right knee moves out into the elbow, and that cross tension creates stability. Come back to the middle. So we got one more to do here. Slow twist to the right. Fold over that front leg. And back to the middle. Whew. All right. Good work. So your body should be feeling a little bit looser now. Anytime you create that much compressive tension and then come back to a releasing, that's kind of a lot of what yoga is too. That's how you really learn how to have more awareness and more body control through your body is learning how all of your muscles work together in systems. So once you create all of that tightness, your body knows that chain of sequence, that chain of command for, what do I tighten when I'm moving this way and this way and this way and this way and all that kind of stuff. Not only does that release a lot of tension throughout the body, but it also gives your mind a lot more information in how your body moves, and you can figure out how to move more efficiently just by being in all of these different shapes and learning how to breathe through them and stuff like that. So that's a really, really good move if you guys are feeling like tense or stressed out from a long work day or something like that. Do a couple of those moves and should feel a lot better. All right, so we're gonna do some timed stuff, some timed holds here. We're gonna do 3 different ones, and we're gonna go through it twice. And so we'll do about a minute per move. So the 3 moves are, and this is where your pillow comes in. The first move we're gonna do is a glute bridge hold. So we're just going to hold this position right here. The second move we're gonna be doing is from a tabletop position. We're going to be stepping through the body and then reaching upwards like this. And then the last move we're gonna do is just a quad stretch. Okay, so we're just holding these moves for 1 minute at a time. So just go ahead and follow me. I'll give you guys instructions as we go along. First thing we're gonna do, lying on our back, is a glute bridge hold. So your feet should be as close to your butt as possible. Go ahead and drive your hips upwards. And when you're in this position, there's a lot to think about. You don't want to have any arch in the back. You don't really want to have any tension in the back. So your weight should be driving through your heels or the middle of your feet, and all of the tension should be in the hamstrings and the glutes. Okay, so make sure you have a posterior pelvic tilt in the hips, and then you're driving them upwards. And you want to feel all of that here in the hamstrings. And it also helps to touch the muscle. So whatever muscle you're trying to work, if you touch it, it gives your brain feedback to that area. So if you're struggling to feel this in the hamstrings, just touch around it. See if you can. Sometimes you can turn on the muscle just by kind of touching it and knowing where it is. Okay, go ahead and come down from that. We're gonna go into a tabletop position. So how this looks is just like we did a few weeks ago with the crawling. You're just gonna be lifting up both of your knees. And so you're going to, let's all spin the same way. So you're going to lean into your right arm, and you're going to twist your left foot so that it's flat on the floor. And then you're going to bring that right leg through the body. And then from here, twist your fingers so they're facing behind you. So your hands are facing behind you. And then draw the shoulders backwards as you drive the hips upwards. Okay? And so we're just going to hold this position right here. And so what I want you to be focusing on with your shoulder is keeping that arm locked and keeping your elbow twist behind you. So the eye of your elbow should be facing behind you. And with that rotation, you're locking in the strength of the shoulder, and you feel a lot of stability through the shoulder. Because if you don't focus on that shoulder rotation, that'll start to pinch the shoulder. We got about 15 seconds left here. Go ahead and come out of it if you need to, but see if you can hold it. About 10 more. And slowly start to come back out of it. Put that left hand down. Pull the knee through. Good. So we're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to twist the right foot onto the floor, reach my left leg through the body, twist the left fingers so they're facing behind me, and then just coming up into a bridge right here. So from this position, I want you to focus on squeezing your glutes. Okay, so your feet are firmly planted onto the floor. So you have strong glute contraction, but also you feel very stable through the shoulder, through the rotation. So grip the floor really tight with your fingers and twist externally. And you'll feel your shoulder blades start to move a little bit, and then they'll lock into place and make you very stable from this position. Big breaths. And slowly come back out of this one. Back to all fours. This is where the pillow comes into play. I'm going to take this pillow, fold it up, and you're going to stick it as far into your knee crease as you can here. And this is just going to decompress the knees a little bit through this stretch. So really wedge it right into your kneecaps, the back of the kneecaps. All right, and then from here, you're just gonna use your hands and only go as far as you feel comfortable with this, on this move, but just gonna kind of slowly try to fall back. See if you can get those elbows on the floor. And if you can't get the elbows, just have the hands nice and wide like this. And you can go super wide and just slowly guide that body backwards. And we're just breathing here. Twenty more seconds. Big breaths. On the exhale, let all the tension go from the body. And slowly start to worm and wiggle and squirm your way back up to the top. All right, so we're going to go through all of those one more time. So I'm going to start on our back, get into a hip bridge. And the reason we're doing these is Jess had asked me for some quad stretches because you guys are doing a lot of quad dominant stuff. And also, this is working hip extension and a lot of low back pain and a lot of like hip flexor pain and just a lot of like movement, improper movement defaults happen because the hips are mostly in a flexed position. And so the more we can work and train extension, getting the posterior chain to fire, which is like the hamstrings and the glutes, and kind of pull those hip bones backwards into their socket, that counteracts all of this sitting that we do. So this is a good flow to do if you find yourself sitting a lot, maybe through your job or something like that. Going through these exercises will really help reduce the stress on that lower back. So let's go up into the bridge. And again, keep your mind active here. You want to be thinking about what am I firing and what am I feeling. Okay, so I don't want to feel too much here in the low back. You'll feel a little bit, but you want to feel most of it through the hamstrings and the glutes. Deep breaths. $15 seconds. And go ahead and come down from that. We're going to the tabletop position here. I'm going to start in all fours. We're going to start moving our right leg and being on our right shoulder. Okay, so we're going to lift the knees up, twist your left foot flat on the floor. Your right arm should stay locked out. Reach that right leg through the body. Turn your fingers behind you, and then drive the hips upwards into this backwards wheel position here. You want to try to get as much of a high arch as you can stand here in that position. If this move is very uncomfortable or very awkward, or if this is really, really challenging, I challenge you to practice being in this move a lot throughout the week, because doing these back bending kind of exercises really helps to loosen up the whole body, because it just goes so far against what we do on a normal day-to-day basis. So this would be a really good, just holding a minute or two per side. Let's come back down. A really good move to start learning a lot about your body and figuring out where your sticky points are. Okay, so let's go to the left. So you twist the right foot down, reach the left foot through the body, turn your fingers so they're facing behind you, and then come up to a high hip bridge here. So keep that twist very strong through the left arm. Okay, if you're not rotating that shoulder externally, you're not going to feel very stable. So keep that shoulder blade turned on. And just breathe deep. We got 20 seconds. And come back down. And grab your pillow. Stuff it behind the knees. Another thing too is try to keep your knees close together. So you don't want them to splay out too far. But ideally, you should be able to get your head and shoulders on the floor from this position. Physiologically, like the body is capable of being in that position. Now, if you're not there yet, I'm not even quite there yet. It just means you got to stretch more, but that should be the goal for what you're shooting for this move. Is to be able to be in this position and to have your head and your shoulders on the ground. Okay, so I'm pretty close. Big breaths. All right, slowly start making your way up. Okay. So I got okay. So this is I call it a modified scorpion. This is a great move for the pecs. All right, it takes a lot of intention to get this move done right, to feel it in the right spot. So I'm gonna walk you guys through it really quick. We're starting on prone. So we're starting lying face down. And again, the key to getting a good pec stretch is the position of your shoulder, whether your shoulder is in internal rotation or an external rotation. So you can't stretch the pec if it's in a shortened state, which is internal rotation. So make sure that we want those shoulders to be externally rotated. We're going to be lying on the floor like we're in a scorpion. What I'm going to do is lift the right leg just enough so I can put it on the ground here. And then I'm bringing this arm. As I put this one here, I'm bringing this one close to my body so I can kind of press into it. And then from here, you just want to pull the shoulder away from the floor and reach out. And then as you slowly push yourself up with your other arm, you're going to feel more and more of that stretch here in the shoulder. Okay. So we'll start face down, arms out to a T. So you're going to lift up your right leg and put it just outside your kneecap on your left leg. See if you can get your foot on the floor. When you're in this position, you're going to bend your right arm and bring it close to your body. Rotate your left shoulder externally so you stretch the pecs. And then just go ahead and see if you can push yourself open. So you're opening up towards the left. And then you're going to rotate back towards the floor. Push your body up, and you're going to kind of go in and out of this full stretch I'm going to back off just a little bit. And then I'm going to go into the stretch a little more. So I want you to kind of work and rock your way in and out of this stretch here. So go at your own speed, at your own pace. I'm going to spend about a minute here. And see if you can really get that shoulder super, super externally rotated so that as your body is opening up, you feel the pec stretch more and more and more. So your shoulder should be pretty far off the ground. Let's press up into that stretch. Hold for a couple seconds. And then come back to neutral. Jess, how's that feeling? Not good?
The entire flow of today's class, like that's my sticky point. I feel like my bicep into my elbow. Like as soon as I lock out that elbow, it's like it opens up all of this.
Yeah.
I turn my head away and I feel it like all even through my neck. Like I just have to open up a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because that bicep wants to, when you're curling, it wants to internally rotate the shoulders. Mm-hmm. So when you externally rotate, you definitely feel a huge pull in the bicep there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go towards the right. So right arm's out. So everybody look at my screen really quick. You don't want your shoulder like this. See how my shoulder's glued to the floor? That's a bad position. We want it rotated away. So not like this, but out like this, okay? So go at your own speed here. We're gonna do about a minute or a minute and a half. And I just want you slowly rocking in and out of that full stretch. So I'm out of stretch here. And then by pressing with my left arm and rotating my body. So it's kind of like normally in a pec stretch, you keep your body still and you push your arms back. This is the opposite. We're keeping our arms still and we're rotating our body around the pec. So it's just kind of like a different way of getting at the same stretch. Make sure you're breathing too. And just be mindful of what the rest of your body's doing. Okay, so your body's always trying to communicate with you. All right, so always be receptive to what it's trying to tell you. It'll tell you if you need to move, how long you need to hold a position, if you need to, adjust your posture or whatever. Just always be attuned with what your body's trying to tell you, especially in these deep stretches. 10 more seconds. And we'll come back to the middle. All right, so next one we're going to be on our knees again. And if you want to use your pillow, you could totally use your pillow. We got 2 more stretches to do. These will go pretty quick. So I'm going to basically try to be from this position. You want to be sitting down on your heels. So I'm going to kind of take my hands and wrap them around my heels, or grab somewhere like close to my heels. And then what I'm going to do from this position is, let me see if I could tilt the screen up. From here, still touching my heels, I'm going to try to go into a full extension from this position here. So pushing my hips forward and reaching my shoulders backwards. And then I'm going to come back to this seated position here. So the way that I have my hands like rotated so that my fingers are grabbing the inside of my heels like this, because that allows me to have something to pull my shoulders back on rather than if my hands are rotated the other way. So think about like scooping your hands underneath each other like this, and then grabbing your heels from that position. So your thumb is on the outside and your fingers are on the inside of your heel. And then as you press up, you can kind of use your heels as a leverage point to get into this position. And then you're going to pull yourself back down here. Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, but
Yeah, are your feet together? Are your feet
you
together?
look really nice doing it. You look really.
My feet are together.
Your feet get together.
I'm not touching each other, but there's 4 fingers between my 2 feet, so there's pretty close.
I can't even grab my ankles.
I can.
There, I'm gonna see if I can.
Like,
I'm gonna see
like,
if I can
You gotta
show
hold
you
on to
some
them
angle.
and then lift off. So go to the bottom position.
I can touch my heels, but I can't.
So I'm like this, and then as I get up into that position, like here.
maybe no pillow for me.
I'm pretty sure my arms are actually too short for that. I can touch my heels, but I can't.
Ability to extend everything from this position here. So if you feel like your arms are too short, it's because you're not getting enough like bend this way for your shoulders to be able to sit down and back and come down to the floor. So if you're not able to get there, it'll feel like your arms can't get down there. But think about pushing your chest forward, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling.
I think we need to run a 60-day mobility challenge.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
You know, you can modify it by toeing down. So if you go down bring your toes into the floor.
Uh-huh.
So toes in, it'll be a little easier for you immobile people like all of us to be able to.
Oh, okay.
And then that eventually gets you to drop the heels. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. That's a
Yeah,
good.
so that's definitely a modification, and then the toes to eventually toe out.
Yeah, for sure it is. Yeah, that's much more palatable to get into. So yeah, tuck your toes then if that's too challenging.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I mean, our goal is definitely to do it the way you're doing it, Josh.
And so you're driving your hips forwards, holding your shoulder backwards.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about squeezing everything in the back and lengthening everything in the front.
10.
So let's do like 2 more of those here, and then we'll get into our last one. A big breath in when you're not doing anything. And then you exhale your way into the move.
Oh, see, now I open. Yeah, see it now. I can actually get into it from the bottom position because
Oh, you can?
Yeah, it opened up the lower back.
Okay.
This feels about right.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a really good regression, is tucking the toes underneath.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So last one, we're doing a lot of twists today, so you guys will definitely feel real nice later. The last move we're gonna do is nice and easy for you guys. We'll finish on an easy one. So we're going to be laying in
Opening up my heel like that.
Sideline position. So your top leg is going to be crossed over, and it's going to be sitting on the floor. And your arms are going to be reaching straight out, just like this. So on your exhale, well, do you want me to show you, or do you guys want to just follow me?
We're following you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, follow me. Okay, so your body's kind of in a relaxed position here. On the exhale, we're going to twist as far as we can this way. Once you feel like both your arms can't move anymore, leave that left or that bottom arm where it is and finish that move with the top arm, keeping your knee on the ground. It's important to keep that top knee on the floor. So the right arm is reaching back, the left arm is reaching up, and the right knee is reaching towards the floor. The left heel is reaching away from your body. So you have all these different directions. Let's come back to the middle. You have all these different directions that you're trying to pull your body into. Okay, so I have energy down with this leg, out with my bottom leg, up with this arm, and then back with this arm. And so reaching your body in all these different directions is going to lengthen all of your muscles and provide some much, much, much needed relief. And then let's come back to the middle. Down on the floor. There's 2. We're going to do 5 on each side. So breathe in deep. Exhale as you rotate. Up. Finish that twist with the right arm. Keeping that left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Come back to the middle. Down onto the floor. Inhale deep. Exhale. Start your twist. Keep exhaling. Finish that twist. Keep your shoulder rotated backwards as you're reaching. Pull back to the middle. Down to the floor. Last one. Big breath in. Exhale. Start your twist. Keep exhaling. Finish the twist. Come back to the middle. And down to the floor. Okay, and let's switch sides. So laying on your right side now. Left knee on the ground. And try to, I forgot to say this on the first one, just laying in this position, your bottom leg, so your right leg is going to want to be flexed. So see if you can drive your heel backwards as far as you can until you feel like you're in a straight line. And that looks like this. So if you saw me from this angle, this leg is going to want to sit here. See if you can pull this leg backwards like this so that the bottom leg is in a straight line with the rest of your body. Okay, so we exhale, twist. And then rotate. You guys will notice probably that one side is much better. You're much better at rotating to one side than the other. Very normal. Just means you need to practice rotating on the other side more. It means there's a disconnect between the sequence that your body needs to rotate that way. So we inhale back to the floor. Exhale, turn. Finish the exhale as you finish the reach. Start to pull back to the middle, down on the floor. There's 3. So we inhale or exhale up. Finish that rotation. Come back to the middle. That's 3. Inhale, exhale, up. Driving that left knee into the floor still. I'm reaching away from the body. So as you're driving your left knee down and your left arm away, you should feel this like twisting, elongating feeling. And then as you come back to the middle, when you're just laying in this position, you should feel like your whole body just kind of goes limp. All right, that's how hard I want you to be pulling. So we exhale, reach. And you're really putting a lot of effort into this reach back here. And then match your other hand and come to the floor. All right. Oh, I'm beat. That's it. Good work, everybody. What's that?
Did anyone's hand actually reach the back?
No.
No, not on the floor, no.
I was like, okay.
Not yet. Maybe we need to do that move a few more times.
Man.
That was awesome, man. Those are tough.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you guys signed on this morning. Happy Mother's Day to all of your members that are mothers. Whoever's watching this, happy Mother's Day to you guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate the love this morning. So hopefully you guys feel really good.
Yeah.
Any word on when you're opening?
No, nothing. Yeah, just waiting on the state. We just heard that New Jersey's opening beaches for Memorial Day weekend. So I don't know if businesses will fall in line with that whole Facebook.
Nice.
So we'll see.
All right. At least you got the beach open. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, have a great Mother's Day. Have a great Sunday. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.
Of course.